about other people, those people who don't express themselves very well.
Stand out.
So what is it,
Emergenetics International is a company driven by the idea of moving thinking forward. We provide psychological tools and training with quality, integrity, all in a relational environment. But the Emergenetics experience is more than that. Emergenetics is 7 attributes that are threaded together to symbolize who you are, how you think and behave.
The key to the profile is the interaction between the thinking attributes and the behavioral attributes.
So Emergenetics is a profile that measures 7 attributes. They would be analytical, structural, social, conceptual, thinking attributes, and 3 behavioral attributes: expressiveness, assertiveness, and flexibility. When you think about each of those attributes, you have to figure out how the thinking connects in with the behavior.
It really is the key to the entire profile.
For example, if you're somebody whose preferences are in social and conceptual, and your behaviors are at the first third, you will come into the room acting much differently than somebody who is conceptual and social, but your behaviors are at the third of the spectrum. So the first person would come into the room quietly, peacefully, more focused in whatever their idea is. The second person would come in more gregariously, more driven, and able to accommodate people.
The threading of the thinking attributes and the behavioral attributes is what gives you the best snapshot of the individual that you're dealing with.
Yeah, if you were just
There is no ideal profile. It's important to remember that while we have certain preferences, everybody has the ability to do everything that they see in the profile.
There is no such thing as an Emergenetics leader profile.
Our theory is that to be an effective leader, you need to adapt to the styles of others.
The Emergenetics profile will talk about how you will perform as a leader.
It's more about how much energy it takes to invest in completing that particular attribute per person.
I always think about James. James, who is a blue-green thinking preference, whose behaviors were at 2, 3, 1, always had me come in and work with his teams as he was moving around the company on his way to becoming CEO of this large corporation. And when I would show his profile to his team, they were shocked because he had only a sliver of red, and everybody in the team was pretty clear that he'd have preferences there. He then would say to them, "No, what sliver of red I have, I use at work because I know it's important to be interpersonal, empathic, and so forth in my work. What you're seeing actually is my expressiveness."
What we have found is that any profile can be an effective leader. Adaptive leadership does not need to be in conflict with authentic leadership. The most important thing is that you are who you are and that you can adapt to the people around you. There are lots of profiles out there that are rooted in many different theories. They present themselves very similarly and they tend to use the same words. So when you're comparing Emergenetics to other profiles, you can't necessarily assume that our terms mean the same terms as another profile or that our colors mean the same colors as another profile. A lot of people ask us what is the difference between Emergenetics and Myers-Briggs, for example. And really, there is no comparison between the two. They're 2 completely different tests. While Myers-Briggs is rooted in Jungian theory, Emergenetics is rooted more into the modern science of neural pathway development. I think a lot of people assume that the thinking attributes tends to be the most important piece.
You're a combination of all those attributes.
We're very conscious about not labeling folks, Not only are we required to adhere to confidentiality standards by professional test standards, but we also believe that it's important to respect the individual who is taking the assessment. We understand that they have trusted us with this information, and we go to great lengths to maintain that confidentiality.
We really are a family dedicated to helping people transform their lives, helping them transform their organizations. Come join us.